Another loss, another win. All go through it, I begin again. Another day, another doubt, another way. Gotta get up, and I dip from those who give up. And I see the millions in the mirror. The night is darkest for the brightest stars, and now I see them more. The moon on this night keeps on calling. I find when they dip, now I'm falling. I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. I find when they dip, now I'm falling. Yeah. I take a chance even if I doubt it. It's better payment for the ones that try to make it. So when I make it, they just get denied. The spirit's breaking, so I better bottle. I gotta do what they won't do. I gotta own what they won't pursue. I gotta know and I gotta move. I gotta show and I gotta prove. On this night keeps on calling. I find when they dip, now I'm falling. I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling.
Since the creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, the world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking the unbanked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. A world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Disclaimer. Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
Hello, crypto family. Oh man, what a week in crypto. Sell in May and go away. The prophecy that was foretold by Bill a while back. Unfortunately, it seems like it has turned real. Bill, Forrest, how are you guys hanging in there?
Oh, doing well.
Doing all right.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be quite the stream. Don't worry, we have you. We have your back. We're here with your crypto family. We'll go through and tell you what we're thinking, what we're doing, and how we think all of you should play this market. This has been one of the largest crashes in a while. Lots of blood in the streets, but don't worry, we're still in crypto. We're still believers. We're here for the long haul. So we'll go through that. So any questions you have, submit them to the mentee. We'll be taking your questions towards the end. So this live stream is titled Crypto Crash, Buy the Dip or FUD, how to find the best opportunities in this market crash. And be sure to follow us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, our podcast, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right, so, and by the way, in times like this is when you need to have the best research. First of all, for those of you who are customers, you would know that actually our visual trends indicator turned bearish on Bitcoin at 50K. So a lot of people, even during this crash, have actually saved money. And our goal is to help you make money, but also to help you save money. Because if we pull up here the Bitcoin visual trends indicator, this is why we made this. Because this is not just for Bitcoin, but we have this for over 6,000 assets. So if this could load here on my screen, and the whole point of this is to help you protect your capital. And in times like this, getting out at the top or getting out close to the top and then buying back at the bottom, you can make a lot of money. Because look, if we look here, visual trends indicator turned bearish on Bitcoin at almost 50K. And right now Bitcoin's almost at 30K. So you've basically saved almost 20 grand worth of losses, probably even more. And once it turns bullish again, then that's when it would get back in. So basically, long story short, if you're asking us, what do we think about any particular coin? The first answer I would say is go to tokenmetrics.com and look at the low frequency trends indicator. If both the low frequency and the high frequency has turned bearish, it's not so good. Obviously not financial advice, but definitely worth looking into. And we'll do TA and the market update towards the end of this admin presentation here real quick. Okay, on the agenda, we have Bill with this market update. We'll have Forrest with a price prediction for Polygon, Matic. We'll have question of the day, thought of the week, and we'll have Crypto Showdown and Crypto Therapy, and then we'll take your questions via the AMA. If you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to smash the like button, share this video with your friends, because now is a moment of truth. Those people who just got into crypto, if they're scared now is when we really tell them what to do in times like this, because this happens in crypto a lot, but this was a very huge crash. And then thank you to everybody for the support. For those who don't know, I was on CNBC earlier this week, basically talking about why we think Ethereum is the future and why Bitcoin was early, but it's not really the future of crypto anymore. We cover DeFi's and value investing. So definitely go check it out. We'll also possibly re-upload the video onto our channel on Token Metrics, but it's on CNBC. And we've also launched Token Metrics TV. So in times like this, all of you have probably been waiting for the market update, but we have a daily, Monday through Friday, market update with Bill. So if you are waiting to see how we play this market, Bill's market update is happening 5 days a week now, right? So check that out by going to tv.tokenmetrics.com. Now this is for customers only, also an extra perk of being a customer. Then I also have my own weekly show, Moon Mission. So last week on Monday or Tuesday, I covered Alchemix, a project I've been bullish on, and I actually ended up buying some Alchemix during the dip. So if you want to know why I'm very bullish on this project, check out my Moon Mission video. Then Crypto Foresights. Forrest's Polygon video will be up there. Then we'll also have hidden gems, the projects we're looking to buy during this dip. And then Crypto Hot Seat. Dylan had an exclusive interview with BitBoy Crypto during his 1 millionth subscriber on YouTube when we went down there in Georgia, in Atlanta. And then we also have an interview with the founder of Audius, the CEO of Audius, I believe. That's a project we've been very bullish on. I own some of that. Forrest does as well. Well, we have an exclusive interview with the founder on TMTV. So definitely check that out. And then Bill has a second show, Crypto Happy Hour. So if you can't get enough of Bill, definitely check out that show. It's more of I guess, Bill, kind of explain what Crypto Happy Hour is.
Well, Crypto Happy Hour is meant to be a variety of things, right? It could be making fun of the crypto market and the things that it does. Or of late, it's been more of me making fun of myself. So it's my attempt at spontaneous crypto humor with a little bit of information.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And then Dylan, our writer and managing editor, also has his own show, Crypto Roundup, which is basically a news show. And we also have the 100X show, which was a great interview. We had that this week on YouTube. Also, will be up on TMTV as well. Okay, with that being said, if anybody out there, if you lost a lot of money, don't worry, we have you back. Tokenmetrics is hiring, looking for crypto family members who want to work with us. So check out tokenmetrics.com/careers. We have lots of open job posts because we're here for the long haul. So if you want to join the team, definitely go there, put in an application. All right, let's now segue to Bill with the market update.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is your market update. So we have disclaimers on updates. I'm just going to give you a brief story. So if you lost money this week, you obviously have company. I had Alpha and Perp, okay, as part of my portfolio, and I had those positions staked. Perp did okay, but Alpha disappeared roughly 70%. So if you're hurting out there, I feel in many ways just as bad as you do, not only for my own P&L, but for yours. So on that note, let's use the number 45 to stay alive and rise up here, because at the end of the day, you got to believe. Now, let's go to research and development. At Tokenmetrics, we have all types of research and development, AI, machine learning, and human. Human research and development has been focused on using time, which is very convenient because I'm sure everyone out there is asking, when, if ever, is this going to be over? So William Gann, technical analyst, I use his work. He made $50 million trading during the 1920s and 30s. Now for his work, he was a mathematician like Fibonacci. So he liked the number 45, used 45-degree angles. He used ancient religion research to find the number 1335 that he used for cycle analysis, timing tops and bottoms. And he also liked multiples of 15, like 30 or 60. Okay? Now, let's talk about how we could use these numbers to help you. So a brief public announcement. It's not a coincidence that Gann called his memoirs 45 Years at Wall Street, and they could not resist throwing in a picture of a famous number 45. Okay, now this is a very busy Bitcoin chart. Try and focus your eyes up on the top part in the yellow. I'm using a 45-minute Bitcoin chart. That means each bar represents 45 minutes of trading. I do not believe it's a coincidence that coming up on May 25th, it will have been 1,335 bars from the all-time high at 64K. As a matter of fact, if I go to 62K and 51K and I draw it out to May 25th, okay, every high seems to be a multiple of 45. Now, if you didn't understand that, that's okay. Just remember that on May 25th, there is a lot of Gann evidence It's like a full moon, all kinds of stuff happening, that this thing can turn around at that time. Or to be more neutral about it, that May 26th is some sort of big inflection point. Now, I think that's when sort of a bottom will be in, and then the up move will start. If I'm wrong, then May 26th could be another leg down, a bear market curtains. However, using this 1335 from the top, my guess is that the bottom or the uptrend starts May 25th or 26th. Now, let me provide a simpler look at this. In November of 2013, Bitcoin went from 200 to 1100. Okay, 90 months from that bottom, okay, is May of this year. In August of 2017, Bitcoin took off. 45 months from that bottom is May of 2021. What does this tell me? Well, possibly that the market could be making a bottom, much like it did in 2013 and much like it did in 2017. In other words, Gann used these numbers to try to find inflection points and see when history would repeat. I think the month of May will be famous for a bottom in crypto, not a top. Obviously, I'm a human being, and the market is the ultimate arbiter of the decision. Now, ETH, actually cleaner and simpler. I looked at the start of the Coinbase listing. Okay, May of 2021 is 60 months since the Coinbase listing. It's 30 months, June, next month, is 30 months since the 2018 low at 80. What is this telling me? Well, that we're coming into a period where we're making a major low or major inflection point in Ethereum. In other words, at this big moment in time with Ethereum at 2K, buy it or sell it. Based on this research, not investment advice, buy it, right? Because 2 times previously, it's been a bottom on these big Gann numbers. Now, let's say that was too much for you. I have a Gann setup. It's similar to what Forrest does. And I have this trend line for Ethereum, right? And Ethereum got way overextended right to a Gann resistance point at 4,300. My idea was to be cute and move from ETH into smaller altcoins instead of just going sell in May and go away like I have been for the last 6 months. I wavered. So if you've made a mistake, I made a mistake, even though I had the right idea. Now, how do I fix my mistake? Well, it looks like ETH is now back way overextended below its trend line near support around 2000. So again, you've been paid in the past to get long ETH when it gets stretched out below the trend line. Now, if ETH came back to the trend line, it might hit, say, 3,600 by the end of June and eventually wind up at 6K at the end of the year. So I'm not giving up on Ethereum. My boss is on CNBC telling people the way it is, and this chart backs it up. So if you look at the cycle work and the basic work in Bitcoin and Ethereum, this idea of the death of crypto, that it's all over, let's just say I vehemently disagree. Now, the market could turn around and wipe me out, but I've got Gann numbers behind me, okay? I've got price and time work to back up what I'm saying. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. So obviously, there's been a huge altcoin party. It's kind of a stealth altcoin party, right? Like ETH went up, but what you also had was the massive surge in market cap in things like Cardano and Doge, right? And that just annihilated Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance went on a line from 53 to like 39. Well, if I do the fib retracement work, even though this is obviously a calamity for everyone's P&L, because shockingly, what they decided to mark down was the DeFi coins that I think are priceless over the next 6, 12, and 72 months. Bitcoin dominance has just like, it's done a 23% retracement, right? So I know I know it looks like, oh God, it's Bitcoin and everything else is trash, but really it was just a retracement in the dominance chart because nothing goes straight in one direction. Now, let's just take a look at altcoins, right? I can't look at every altcoin for the presentation, but let me just see if I can come up with something that restores not only my faith, but your faith in this idea that what we've just witnessed is something akin to the 1987 crash. The 1987 crash came after 5 consecutive up years in stocks. It was a 25% down move in one day. And basically, I think the overall correction was well over 30%. The market went down and it stayed down into Christmas, creating despair. I was 18 years old at the time, and it was tough to watch my father as a broker go through it. The only thing good for us, maybe, is that that whole process that took 3 months may have taken 7 days. Nowhere is this more evident in the coin that I got hosed in, Alpha. Okay? Multicoin Capital and Delphi Digital like this coin. They invested in it. It went from nothing to $2 and something or $3. It traded in a range, and then it fell out of bed from 220 to 50 cents. It hit horizontal support, and I also noticed that May 23rd is exactly 225 days from the start of trading in Alpha. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 45 times 45 is 225. And the reason I brought up 87 was because that when 87 was over, you had a generational low in stocks. Now, is this a generational low in Alpha? I don't know. I certainly hope so. I think this coin has a lot to offer, not investment advice. That said, when I look at this, I go, do I want to buy or sell DeFi? Like, has anything changed with DeFi except price? No. Matter of fact, everything in DeFi is now on sale to the point where institutions who have missed it multiple times can now just indiscriminately vacuum up the coins. Okay, especially since they did the panic move on a weekend, most likely when retail was panicking. So if you were wondering what the heck was going on this weekend, people were probably pushing it down to trigger stops and despair so they could vacuum it all up. Okay, perp. This is a derivatives exchange. It's part of what I call the future of Wall Street trade. Perp has done relatively well, knock on wood. Okay, I've noticed that from the bottom in perp where it started to move at $1.28 out until tomorrow, that's 135 days. So with perp well off its highs from 15 back down at 7.5, it's like buy or sell perp. Well, I'll leave that up to you. Again, the major narrative is DeFi 2.0. The major narrative is Wall Street coming to DeFi. Now, it didn't occur to me that Wall Street might not like that somebody might want to push this market, right? Musk started it, and it gave everyone an excuse to lean on the system and to shake your faith in crypto, in DeFi, and on the future of finance on blockchain. But again, other than price, what has changed? Okay, I'm not changing my mind about this. Now, I may get hosed. If you listen to me, even though it's not investment advice, you may get hosed. But I'm not changing my mind about DeFi and the future of Wall Street on the blockchain. Okay, let's talk about synthetics. I did some work that had synthetics possibly going up to 100, at which point it went from 24 to 10 and made me look like an imbecile. Few things of note in synthetics. First of all, the avalanche lower occurred in a parallel channel, a perfect two-wave. 1987 was the perfect two-wave in equities. Because again, what does a two-wave do? it leads to a 3-wave, which gives you a lot of slow, steady upside gratification. Initially, everyone's like a little careful. And then later on, it accelerates and accelerates. But it starts off kind of cautious. Now, again, in synthetics, all this gymnastics between 28 and 10 has been done in a parallel channel. I find that interesting. I also find it interesting that May 25th to 28th is 270 bars, daily bars, from the DeFi high in September of 2020. And it's 180 bars from the low in November of 2020. In other words, synthetics, like a lot of these other coins, seems to match up right at a key inflection point. Oh, and by the way, a formerly complex process of staking SNX can now be done on Yearn Finance. Yes, I know it is all going to hell in a handbasket in terms of price, but there are positive DeFi catalysts elsewhere. So as you look at the SNX chart, let me give you the bottom line. History, recent history, has been fraught with ideas that, oh my God, something volatile happened. Like, the Gulf War, Iraq invaded Kuwait, oil doubled, and everyone thought that everything was going to go down forever. Stocks went up all throughout the 90s. A giant hedge fund, long-term capital management, fell apart in 1998. He almost took the whole system down. John Merriweather was the head of the fund. The Fed had to cut rates 3 times, and that's all everyone talked about. Meanwhile, Dell Computer and Microsoft were starting the Windows and PC revolution. Okay. In 2002, everyone was sick of dot-com stocks and everyone ignored the Google IPO, which I believe was in 2004. In 2010 and 2011, all anybody wanted to talk about was Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain going out of business, starting another version of 2008. Meanwhile, while they were looking over here, well, the real gigantic life-changing money was in the FANG stocks: Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Can you really look at this chart of synthetics? Can you really think about what Ian Balina said on CNBC and look yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, it's over for DeFi? Just because sushi went to 6. Just because for whatever reason, whoever did it, for whatever reason, everybody got liquidated all at once. And you got crushed and you feel horrible. But should you buy or sell when you feel horrible? My concluding note is, on this stream, I'm sort of famous for saying when you have a lampshade on your head, sell. When you feel like dancing with a lampshade on your head, sell. Now, we have not had the opportunity to say that when you put down the lampshade and pick up a bucket and you don't feel good, the worse you feel, the more you should buy. Because frequently, your body is tuning into the distress around you, but your mind, your charts, your token metrics research, and your crypto family maybe can help you realize that, from great pain comes opportunity. And that's the market update.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So if you enjoyed that market update, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, put on alerts, and share this video with the crypto family. Right now is a very huge moment of truth. So we're actually going to do a double market update. So let's segue to Forrest, who will also share his insights on Bitcoin. Forrest?
Yeah, guys. So here's my screen if you guys can see it. And this is essentially my game plan, more or less, for Bitcoin, right? And I first want to zoom all the way out and take a look at Bitcoin's crash or bear market after the 2017 peak, right? What happened? We got a lower low that came in. Well, first we got a lower low, kind of got a head and shoulders pattern. We came back up and tested and got a lower low, got rejected, then saw a 70% correction from the all-time high. 70%. And this was over the course of December, January, and February, just about 2 months here to drop 70%. But then guess what happened? No bear market is confirmed until we get a retest. right? Bitcoin got a retest. It tested $11,500, $12,000 twice. The second time it ran into this resistance and got rejected, and the bear market was on. Now, we go to where we're at today, and everybody's question is, are we in a bear market? Is the bear market here? The answer is we don't know yet. I personally don't think it is a bear market. I think we're actually probably going to recover based on the fact that a lot of this downwards bearish momentum is from manipulation and FUD. That's my personal opinion. Do with that information as you will, not financial advice. However, the way that I'm trading this is preparing for two different scenarios. It's preparing for a bear market scenario as well as launching back up potentially into a bull market, right? And how I'm hedging my portfolio is I strongly believe that whether it's a week from now, whether it's on May 26th, whether we shoot right back up or we take 2 months to come back and retest, right? We've got our resistance trend line here, and I'm going to turn this pink just so you know what I'm talking about. This pink line, dotted line. We've got this resistance trend line that we could need to come up and retest, and we've also got this head and shoulders neckline that could also act as potential resistance, right? And for good measure, we've also got the resistance line here that I think could end up being a second line of resistance later on. However, we don't know if we're in a bear market yet until we get this bounce and this rebound and this retest. I strongly believe that we're going to get a retest, whether it's up here at 52K or it takes us 2 months to get there in August and it's up at 46K. At which point, again, this is not financial advice. This is what I will be doing. I will be selling this retest with a certain portion of my portfolio, undecided at this point. Depends on market sentiment and what the narrative is, and if there's a lot of good news or bad news in the market. I will be selling this retest. Why would I be selling this? And of course, not with my entire portfolio. I'm very bullish long-term on crypto. I'm planning on holding a lot of crypto no matter what. But I do want to free up some capital potentially if we do go into a bear market and I can start accumulating crypto lower. Why do I feel comfortable selling here on this retest? Because if we break through and I'm wrong and we don't go back down lower, we break right through and look like we're going to go right back into a bull market, chances are we will get another confirmation test on this same exact trend line. We have to break through it. We have to test it, break through it, and then confirm on top of it. If I sell here and I'm wrong and we go up higher, I can buy back in at the exact same price, maybe even a little bit lower off of this confirmation bounce, right? Now, if I sell here and free up capital and we get rejected and go into a bull market or a bear market and or maybe an accumulation phase, now I've freed up a large amount of capital up here that I can accumulate crypto long-term with and add to my crypto balances. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to increase my US dollar balances in a bear market. I'm trying to increase my crypto balances. I'm trying to increase the amount of Ethereum I have. I'm trying to increase the amount of Polkadot I have, trying to increase the amount of alpha I have, right? So that in the next bull market, my gains are exponentially higher, right? So just to recap, we don't know whether or not we're in a bear market until we get a confirmation where we retest and we get a confirmation either downwards and a rejection downwards or we pass the test and get a confirmation bounce off the top. And then we essentially have permission to retest all-time highs and go higher. So that's how I am planning on managing this next few months or these next few weeks. We don't know how fast this could act. And of course, maybe it doesn't do this at all, but I would be very shocked if we don't get at least some sort of a retest, because historically we always do. Maybe we go down to 25K first and then we get a retest at 40, 45K. I don't know what the numbers will be. I don't know how long it's going to take. But this is my personal plan for managing these next couple weeks, this next month or two. And that wraps it up.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. If you enjoyed that as well, smash the like button, subscribe, And now let's segue straight into the price prediction.
Yep. So Matic scenario models or price prediction. This was a Crypto Foresights episode earlier this week, right? So Matic is what the Crypto Foresights episode, I believe, on Thursday was, just a couple days ago. And look, guys, we've been channeling upwards. Matic's been channeling upwards. It had this beautiful run from 31 cents all the way up above $2. Believe it peaked at $2.70. On Thursday, I showed this chart in the Crypto Foresights Token Metrics TV episode showing this red resistance line, and a quote said, if I were in Matic, which I'm not in Matic, unfortunately, because I didn't get a good entry point. But I said, and I quote, if I were in Matic, I would be taking 10 to 20% profits here because we're about to hit resistance and we're overextended above our channel. Right. So this is me on Thursday talking about this. Now, obviously, I did not predict the total collapse, right? The total crash that we've seen. However, it's always a good idea, not financial advice, to when you get to the top of a channel and a cryptocurrency seems like it's absolutely unstoppable, that nothing can possibly stand in its way, and it gets overextended against the channel and it's running into resistance, maybe consider taking profits. Here's a chart of Ethereum just to demonstrate that. I know we're talking about Matic, but Ethereum has a very clear channel upwards. And this is in line with Bill's work that he showed you with the Gann trend line, where we got way overextended up to the top at $4,300, $4,400. And now we've been way overextended to the bottom. Now, historically, if you just buy the top, or you sell the top, you sell when we get overextended, and then buy when we get underextended or overextended to the bottom side, it's usually a recipe for making money or expanding your Ethereum wallet, right? Stacking Ethereum or stacking whatever cryptocurrency you're in. So this brings us back to the Matic chart. We got overextended. Now, a lot of cryptocurrencies, a lot of altcoins that were channeling sideways or weren't doing well before this crash are actually at the bottom of their channels, like Ethereum I just showed you, or Synthetics, or some of these other cryptocurrencies are actually wicking below their channels. But they seem to be popping right back up into their channels every time Bitcoin gets a little bit of a bump. Now, Matic isn't quite to the bottom of its channel yet. Now, what's that tell me? One, if you're looking for a buying opportunity, maybe it could go lower. Two, Matic looks very strong still. I mean, if you look at its price history here, it is still smack in the middle of its channel. It is holding very, very strong and is not even challenged falling out of the bottom of its channel. If I was looking for a Matic purchase right now, I'd be considering maybe this, it fulfilled the support here down at 75 cents earlier today, but maybe a drop down to the bottom of this channel. Maybe if things get really bad, you could pick it up for, at this structural support here around 57, 58 cents. Now, am I saying Matic's going to fall down to 57, 58 cents? No, but it certainly could. Things are crashing very heavily right now, and that would be essentially the bottom of its channel. Right now, I don't think is the worst place to buy it. It's a pretty fair value. It's at pretty fair value in its channel here. Now, we've got a couple of scenarios here built out based on where it could be in its channel. If we can see the market recover and we can see this bullish momentum continue, at least for Matic, if not for the rest of the market. On July 1st, if it was at the bottom of its channel, it'd be worth 98 cents. If on July 1st, Matic was at the top of its channel, it'd be $4.73, right? This is a big difference because we're on a logarithmic view and these are linear trend lines. It's growing exponentially, right? September 1st, $2.46 at the bottom of its channel, $14.70 at the top of its channel. I get that that's a little bit crazy, but if we go back into a bull market, this would be kind of the timeline for when maybe the bull market could peak. If this crash was actually a 2-wave and we're about to get a 3, 4, and 5 wave, maybe $14.70 isn't that out of the question. I don't want to give too much hope right now when we're in the middle of this big crash, But if I would have said this, and I did actually say this 3 days ago on Thursday, $14.70 by the end of this bull market didn't seem that crazy. Now that is probably about as bullish as I would get. Anything above that does seem a little bit outlandish for this market cycle. Although Matic's fundamentals are obviously very, very strong. Now, this is Polygon or Matic's dominance, right? This is a little bit more complicated of a chart. Essentially, we've got several trend lines, right? As I mentioned, this resistance line here on its way up to 5% by July 1st, not realistic, right? Probably not going to be the third largest cryptocurrency by July 1st, but that's just the power of having a very steep linear trend line on a logarithmic view. That's not a realistic scenario. I just wanted to demonstrate the power of exponential growth. However, we did get some resistance once we poked our head out above this long-term trend line here. We also have the shorter-term trend line, a little bit steeper of a trend line where Matic has really made its run since December of 2020. I've built in several dominant scenarios. This is dominance or just market share on our way up, measuring from July 1st and September 1st, right, along these trend lines. Now, we've also got total cryptocurrency market cap, which has obviously taken a tumble today. We had our $3 trillion, $5 trillion, and $10 trillion scenarios. If this bull market can continue and we can recover, which I think there's a strong chance that it can, especially when you take into account that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strong green candles, monthly green candles, where the total cryptocurrency space as a whole was growing parabolically off of this long-term trend line. And historically, we have in previous bull markets seen these nasty red candles. This was a 45% dip. I believe the next dip was about a 47, 48% dip. And this dip that we're currently in is about a 53% correction. It's not that much more so far compared to what we've seen in the past and recovered from, right? So I do think that these scenarios could potentially still be on the table if we can recover into a bull market. Like I said earlier, it's too early to call it a bear market or a bull market, right? We need to see that retest. Now, if we use these $3 trillion, $5 trillion, and $10 trillion cryptocurrency market cap scenarios, and we throw in our market dominances for Matic, we can get a matrix here, a scenario matrix here, where our low end would be we have already topped out at $2.70, and we come back down to 0.73 cents. And that's in the case that Matic's dominance free falls. That is not likely, in my opinion, because Matic is holding its dominance very strong so far in this dip, and Matic's fundamentals are very, very strong. If anything, I think Matic could increase its market dominance even in this dip or this crash. Now, obviously, a lot of altcoins, if we continue to crash, their dominances are going to decrease, and we're going to probably see Bitcoin's dominance increase. But again, if we can recover, I think Matic's dominance can increase, and it can continue to eat up market share against its competitors, right? Again, $10 trillion cryptocurrency market cap scenario, I don't think that's the most likely scenario. I still think $5 trillion is on the table and somewhat realistic, and we've almost reached $3 trillion. We got to about 2.75 trillion, right? Now, I've also included this data in a chart view, and if you have trouble seeing here at the bottom, I've also included it in a logarithmic view, right? I still think that some of these numbers are on the table for Matic this market cycle. Its fundamentals are just too strong. Now, I gave on Thursday 3 price predictions that I feel the most comfortable with. My bearish prediction was $2.68. Guys, we topped out at $2.70, right? This is why we build in these different scenario models, right? We don't have a crystal ball. We can't say Matic is going to X amount. We can be extremely bullish on it. We can like the fundamentals, but if the entire market crashes while Matic's at $2.70, then yes, it's going to come down. So we've already realized the bearish scenario, the bearish peak this market cycle. If we can get back on track, though, I do think realistically Matic could go to $5.53 or maybe even $8.22 in a very bullish scenario where it continues to outperform other Ethereum scalability solutions in this market cycle. And that's Crypto Foresights on Matic.
All right. Thank you very much, Forrest. So once again, if you enjoyed that segment, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, put on alerts, share this video with your friends. This is already one of the most, I think probably the most popular live stream we've ever done, right? So this is definitely a very big moment for any crypto investor. So share this knowledge with them. Okay, so let's now segue to question of the day. So go to menti.com, menti.com, use the code 4967778. That's 4967778. Question of the day is $30,000 the bottom for Bitcoin? The options are yes, no, or it's hard to say. Let's go to Forrest.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think we could go a little bit deeper. I think we could dip below $30,000 for Bitcoin. We could wick down there. I'm in agreement with a lot of the time series stuff that Bill has done that shows that this week, Monday through Wednesday, Thursday, May 25th, May 26th, is going to be a big inflection point and a decision point for the cryptocurrency market. I do also think that we are going to come back up and retest, but in the short term, everybody's panic selling. I don't know if 30K will hold. If it does break and we go below before we retest to confirm a bear market, I will be continuing to buy this dip. I'll look under my couch cushions behind me for spare change.
All right. Hopefully it's Ether or crypto. All right, Bill,
Yeah.
how about you?
Okay, I'm going with hard to say because for all the research that I did on price and time, there's a void between May 20th and the 25th, right? Like, generally speaking, if you think about what you've just heard, right? So it's like, don't give up the ship on DeFi, alts and ETH higher. And then Forrest is like, once it goes higher, if it does, then you reevaluate, okay? You maybe take some precautions, raise capital, see what happens, and then go with the next move, whether it's a big up move or a big down move. So that's the token metrics net plan. Forrest, jump in and correct me if that doesn't sound right. I think that's what we just told you, right? Now,
Yeah.
what can we
definitely.
tell you? What can we tell you to do over the next 5 days? I would say pray to the higher power of your understanding, because honestly, we're at the mercy. We're at the mercy of either FUD, panic sellers, institutional liquidation, people trying to kill crypto. They've got 4 or 5 days to do their worst. That's why before I got on TV tonight, I was like, I made my decision. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If they kill it, if they take it to 24K, then fine, right? We got to meet them if they try to take the market down. How far they can take it down, I don't know. Now, I'm going to give you my guess. My answer to the question is it's hard to say. Truthfully, it's hard to imagine despair worse than today. And if it is, it'll be Monday morning when hedge funds have to get out.
All right, thank you, Bill. So I would have to agree as well. It's hard to say. Right now is really a big moment of truth. But if we go to token metrics, so for those of you who are customers, this is widely available to all of you. So if we go to Bitcoin and looking at both trading strategies for the visual trends indicator, they turned bearish on Bitcoin at 50K for the low frequency. Just give me 1 second. And then if we go here to the high frequency, same thing. So both of them have turned bearish. So the reason why I say it's hard to say is it's hard to say if this is the bottom because we may go lower or we may bounce back. But for now, I don't really think we can say this is the bottom. So definitely not a yes until I see both of these indicators, but especially the high frequency one, switch to bullish. So what's the difference for those who are brand new? High frequency basically trades a lot more. Low frequency does less trading. So think of low frequency as more of the value investor or the swing trader or investor, while high frequency is more of a trader, somebody who trades more often. So meaning high frequency would always be faster to react. However, it's also more likely to give you false positives. That's why for me personally, for any big changes in any crypto asset, I like to look at the low frequency trading strategy, because if that turns bearish, then it's really time to really think about possibly taking profits, right? So first of all, if you're a customer and you're able to save money based on any of these visual trends indicator, definitely tell us down below. We definitely like hearing feedback from you all. So post down below in the chat if you're able to take some money around 50K, 40K with Bitcoin. And then if we also go to the price prediction, so price prediction for Bitcoin, basically all the way, I would say early this week, it was around 32K was the price level. It's not been too accurate. Like last month, it was not too accurate. However, I like to view this almost as support, right? So basically, Bitcoin has been trading way higher than any of our AI price predictions would have thought, right? So that could have possibly been a sign to definitely take some profits. But now looking at the price prediction for the next 30 days, now this is a rolling price prediction. It's basically looking at 32K. So for me, I'm looking at this basically as support. And if I see Bitcoin go lower than 30K, then things look really, really bad, unfortunately. But we're here to give you the news, our analysis without any fluff, right? But be ready for anything in crypto. So let's see what our audience has to say. Just give me 1 second here. Oh, wow. So the audience thinks this is the bottom for Bitcoin. Very, very surprising. Bill or Forrest, any comments on what the audience thinks?
I like it. I mean, it's nice that we're so hopeful. I think we didn't get the traditional Bitcoin top that we're used to. We didn't get the blow off top. It looks more like a spillover. You know, we saw the head and shoulders pattern. We saw the wick off distribution bring things down, but it didn't feel like a market top. So I wouldn't be surprised if we kick back into gear and get back into this bull market and 30K is the bottom. How long it could take us to do that, or how long it could take us to retest and confirm a bear market or a bull market, I'm not sure.
All right, Bill?
All right. Well, Bitcoin, like gold, is what I call hard money, right? I do think there's going to be a problem with the dollar in the near future. I covered that on Token Metrics TV. So if institutions don't panic on Monday, most likely it's a range until the 25th. However, you know, I have my beliefs. I communicate them to you in the most reasonable way that I can, but I honestly cannot tell you what is going to happen over the next 4 to 5 days.
Yeah. Okay, so a few comments here from the audience. Apologies, it seems some people are having a lag issue. Not sure where that's coming from, but hopefully that gets resolved. So somebody was saying ROI for token metrics equals infinite. Thank you, Anyasa. Appreciate that. Then Wesley says people should have sold half their Bitcoin at 52K. Okay. Then Les says this channel is gold. Thank you. Appreciate that. Then Rolando says, I think 25K might be the bottom. All right. Then Mr. Robot is asking who is scalping. All right. So tell us what you think. Do you think this is the bottom? Post down below. Let's now switch to the next segment. Thought of the week. What sector of crypto will lead the recovery? The options are Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi, meme coins, NFTs, and other. So tell us what you think. Go to menti.com. The code is 4967778. Bill, what do you think about this? Which sector do you think is going to lead the recovery?
Well, I mean, I've got to go with DeFi, right? I mean, I've seen statistics that I don't have it exactly. I tried to get it just now on the stream that like the volume being moved, say through Sushi Swap, is greater than its market cap, right? Cash flow positive DeFi coins have been destroyed. And the only thing that's changed is price. So if everyone's been forced out of these DeFi coins, and that's the trade, the mother of all trades for the next 12 months, I actually think DeFi is going to actually start rallying before Bitcoin and ETH, only because once the selling is over, when new buyers come in, there won't be any sellers to meet them.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Let's go to Forrest.
Yeah, so it depends on when the recovery is. If the recovery is fast, I think Bitcoin will lead it. Right now, all of the FUD that we saw in the crash that we saw was all centered around Bitcoin, Bitcoin sustainability, Bitcoin centralization in China, USDT not being, Tether not being pegged to really anything or backed by anything, which is mainly a Bitcoin problem. All the FUD that crashed the market was surrounded by Bitcoin crashing. We saw a ton of cryptocurrencies, altcoins want to blast off right. Even as Bitcoin was crashing, we saw Aave go to like 660. We saw Ethereum top out after Bitcoin topped out, right? All these altcoins wanted to blast off, but they essentially had to listen to Bitcoin because Bitcoin was crashing. So if we see a retest and we get through the retest, I think that recovery will be led by Bitcoin, and then DeFi and Ethereum will then have permission to go to the moon. But if we go into a bear market or a consolidation phase for the next couple months, or even towards the end of the year or the beginning of next year, I think at that point, there's so many positive catalysts for Ethereum, EIP 1559, moving to proof of stake, the big merge, that we could see Ethereum and DeFi completely decouple from Bitcoin if Bitcoin can't recover by the end of the year. And that would be led by Ethereum or DeFi. So it just depends on the time frame.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. So I'm actually going to go with Ethereum on this. Typically, I would say Bitcoin, but I think we have a very huge catalyst coming up this summer with Ethereum EIP 1559, because Ethereum essentially will become even more scarce than Bitcoin. And to me, it's very hard to envision that not being a huge catalyst. Definitely, I don't think it's NFTs. I think that party is basically over. Now, it might come back and be in vogue again, but for now, I think NFTs have kind of cooled off. DeFi is still very, very positive. I'm very optimistic on DeFi, but I think DeFi will rally after Ethereum rallies by becoming more scarce than Bitcoin. And if we go here to this DeFi dashboard on DeFi Llama, we actually are seeing a pretty significant correction in DeFi as a result. DeFi basically has topped out at over $160 billion. And it's lost over $60 billion in basically a week and a half or so. Now it's dropped to $95 billion. Now, this is not just Ethereum DeFi. This is DeFi on all different blockchains. So they have Ethereum, Solana, and a bunch Binance Smart Chain, and a bunch of other blockchains. So this is all of crypto for DeFi. And I think this is very, very telling in terms of where things are going. But I think with a fundamental event happening that's going to change the history and the trajectory of Ethereum, I would have to go with Ethereum over anything else. So let's see what the audience has to say. Oh, wow. So the audience thinks Bitcoin. Bitcoin comes in first place, followed by DeFi, followed by Ethereum, followed by meme coins, then NFTs. Very, very interesting. So tell us what you think. Do you think the audience was right? Post your answers down below. Luis says, DeFi to lead the recovery. Hassan says, are you wearing an Arsenal top? Yes, I am. Not soccer advice. My Paris Crypto says, this was a coordinated sell down. The recovery should be sharp. All right. Awesome. So let's now switch over to the next segment. If you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, share this with the crypto family. This is the most watched live stream ever in our history, so we definitely appreciate all the support. In times like this, we all should stick together and really help each other in crypto. All right, so next segment, Crypto Showdown. What altcoins will we be watching in June after this huge correction we've gone through? So the options we have are Helium, followed by Kusama, followed by Polygon. So we have 3 altcoins. Let's begin with Bill. Which of these 3 altcoins will you be watching in June? Or rather, which ones do you think will have the best month in June?
Okay, well, this is a pretty easy answer all the way around. It's Matic. And I'm going to tell you why. I mean, Ian can tell you why. He's been telling you since one penny. Essentially, DeFi is going to need to run on more than one blockchain. Okay. I think it's going to wind up being ETH, Solana, and Matic. You know, Solana, I was talking about really huge upside targets. I think Matic also belongs in the category of something that can go a lot higher, right? So think DeFi, check out DeFi Llama, check out, you know, the things that are running on both Matic and Solana. So for this question, I'm going with Matic for DeFi.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Let's go to Forrest.
I'm going to pick up Helium. In full disclosure, I picked up Helium today under $10. It was, I think, a great entry point. The reason I'm picking Helium is because if we do go into a consolidation phase, or if we do go into a little bit of a bear market, Helium has really no reason to listen to the rest of the market, right? The Helium network is going to continue to grow, and if anything can decouple and do well in a bear market, or while Bitcoin's consolidating, I think it's Helium, right? I do think that the market will recover, but if it doesn't, Helium could still have a fantastic June, or just not spill off nearly as much as these other altcoins have. And by the way, I believe its all max drawdown was 50%, I think, from its all-time high. So it's actually held on much better than a lot of other altcoins have.
All right, thank you, Forrest. So I'm definitely going to go with the Helium. So before I pull up my screen, let me just kind of share why. I own both Helium and Polygon. Very bullish on Polygon. No plans to sell. I'm just I have probably about 25% of my Polygon staking right now for over the last 1 year. So that's good. And I think that's going to keep on going up. However, Polygon has a higher market cap than Helium Network. Polygon has basically been top 20 market cap. And if you recall, we covered this when they pivoted from Matic to Polygon. We mentioned that they were between top 95, top 105 market cap. We mentioned that this could be a top 20 market cap coin. And that played out textbook, because we saw the value versus other competing projects, and it's just been gaining market dominance. Now, the same thing happened with Helium. We've already been bullish on Helium since day one. It's already been a 100x project. Both Helium and Polygon did 100x this market cycle. So congrats to anybody who's watched us and made money on that. But when Helium announced Helium 5G, because prior to that, my projection or target for Helium was top 30 market cap. But with them now building a decentralized cell phone network, decentralized 5G, I think this could go to top 10, top 20 market cap, right? Top 20 as a conservative estimate, but top 10 as if everything fully aligns, this can get there. Because just think about this. They're now going after AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all these big cell phone carriers. But the fundamentals on Helium Network have not changed. The fundamentals on Helium Network, even during a correction, are pretty solid. So up until Friday, Helium had not lost money in the last 7 days. So Helium was actually more stable than a stable coin. It wasn't until Friday when there was that last crypto crash that kind of made a tank. But prior to that, actually both Helium and Polygon had still made money. I think it was plus 1 or 2% in the last 1 week. So meaning that while everything was crashing, projects with actual fundamentals still did well. Now let me actually pull up the fundamentals on Helium Network. So you can go to explore.helium.com. This is their new Explore page. So check this out. There are over 40,000 hotspots on Helium Network. Let me see, there's actually a graph, right? So they've had a slow launch in different regions. They launched first in America, then they launched in Europe, and now this year they've launched in Asia. So you have Asia, China coming on board, and they have 200,000 hotspots in back order, right? So right now it's 40,000, and they have 200,000. So they have 5x, probably even more, because those estimates were about a month old. So let's say 5 to 7x the number of hotspots coming online within the next 6 to 12 months. So bear market or no bear market, I don't see how this goes down based on 5 or 7 times more hotspots going online. That means it's following the network effects. It's following Metcalfe's law, meaning that as more hotspots are added on the network, it gets even more useful. And right now, Helium's just on Binance. So, and I think if they launch 5G and they have 5 or 7 times more hotspots available, I can see that as being a very large catalyst event to get Helium added to Coinbase. And when that happens, I think it's going to do pretty well. Similar to how Matic pivoted from layer 2 scaling to being the internet of layer 2 scaling, and then Coinbase listed them. Right? So when you have this big fundamental catalysts, big exchanges pay attention. Plus, if we go to their markets, right? Most trading pairs for Helium are pretty much in Tether. They have very few Bitcoin trading pairs, and I think this was recently added. So there's BTC on Binance, but for the most part, most people are trading just using Tether, using stablecoins. So this has fared very well during crashes. If you compare this versus almost any other altcoin, both Polygon and Helium have done very, very well. They still lost some money recently in the last few days, but prior to that, in the last 1 week, they're actually doing better than some stablecoins. So the fundamentals of Helium will get better and better over time. I don't really see how this goes down. So as a result of that, because check this out. They've added 13,000 hotspots in the last 30 days. It's basically, right? They've almost tripled their growth. So they've added 13,000 hotspots in 1 month. So in June, I don't see this number slowing down because there's so many people I'm meeting who have these devices and they're just waiting for them to ship, right? And once they ship, they're going to plug them in and start earning Helium, right? And then plus you also have their halving, which is coming in August. So you have basically 2 big fundamental changes in the network. The halving event coming up in August, and then 2 over 200,000 hotspots going online, plus their launch in Asia. So to me, Helium is the one. But anyway, let's see what our audience has to say. So the winner for Crypto Showdown is, drum rolls, please. Polygon. All right. Lots of people here love Polygon. Okay, tell us what you think. Do you think the audience is right or wrong? Post your answer down below. Okay, let's now shift to the next segment. And if you join the stream, please smash the like buttons. Zoobs is asking, how much can you earn per day mining Helium? It depends where you are, right? So it varies, right? I'm based here in Austin, Texas, which is very, very Helium dense and heavy. Last time I checked a few days ago, I'm earning, it's now because the price has gone down, I'm earning about $2,500 a month mining it. But at the peak when Helium was at, I think, $19, almost $20, I was earning about $6,000 a month passively. Right. Plus, I also have my 5G device pre-ordered, or rather, I'm on the wait list. So as a result of that, I think it's going to keep on going up. Okay, so let's take a question from the forum. A question comes from Jason. Pretty long question, but we'll try to get through it. How do I find on the website possible gems like Ren that are in the newsletter? Okay, so Jason says, I'm new to token metrics and crypto trading, and I'm hoping to create seed money to carry me through the upcoming bear market to really grow in the next bull market. I'm too late to the game to get rich and don't have enough cash right now to do that. My ultimate goal is to find 1 or 2 100x gems. I have 17,000 to spread around different coins to increase exposure and decrease overall risk. Of course, any number up to and including 17 gems are welcome too. Anyway, reading the newsletter that came out today, Rent was covered, and if it plays out, would be the one coin that would get me to my goal. How do I use the Token Metrics website to find more of them on my own? Also, where on the data page for Ren do I find that analysis calling for possible huge growth? I have purchased the investor plan, so that might limit me. I cannot justify the professional plan just yet, but will gladly buy it after this bull market if it will assist me in increasing my wealth even more. So basically, how do you use Token Metrics website to find hidden gems while also using the newsletter? Great question. So the newsletter, first of all, this is a daily newsletter, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. So whether there's a bull market, bear market, we're putting out top-notch content. Bill has a market update twice a week. Forrest has 2 newsletters. He has the Hidden Gems watch list, where he goes through projects we're looking at. Then he also has, what's the other watch list, Forrest? Apologies.
The other Token Metrics TV show?
No,
it's Crypto Foresights?
Yes, yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. Yeah, so Crypto Foresights as well. Then we also have 2 code reviews going out every single week. Now, we're actually talking about this on our webinar call with our professional customers this week or last week. we're also elevating our requirement for investing because the market has had a huge correction and we don't want to be over investing in times like this. So what we're doing is we're only looking at projects that score an 85 on both the fundamental analysis score and also the code review score. So meaning that our threshold for investing now is tougher. So essentially we're being pickier investors because the market could possibly be correcting and possibly be entering a bear market. Hopefully not, but as a result of that, we have to be very, very careful with how we invest. Then how to use the site. So great question. So first thing you could do is just use the ratings page. The ratings page is very, very helpful to give you an idea of what Tokenmetrics thinks about the market. Because if you had gone to the ratings page about 1 or 2 weeks ago, you would have seen that pretty much the highest rated coins for the quant grade were stable coins. So that was basically Tokenmetrics giving you a hint that, hey, maybe time to take some profits, even though things are still going up, but maybe time to take some profits because things look pretty frothy. So I would come here, look at whatever time frame you're investing or trading in, and try to see what to invest in. Now, typically, I would say only look at projects that have a grade at minimum 75%. If you're being a value investor, probably 80%. But right now, everything has crashed, so the grades aren't going to be too good. However, even though the grades are low here on the monthly for trader, one thing I do notice here, what's rated highly is CETH, CUSDC, and CDAI. So the quant grade, basically our AI is saying right now things look pretty bad, and it's going to either Ethereum or stablecoins on compound, where you earn interest, basically yield. So it's finding yield earning tokens. So rather than being in Ethereum, it would rather be in compound Ethereum where you earn some yield for holding Ethereum. And then same thing with stablecoins. So I find this pretty interesting. So let's say you don't necessarily have to follow this yourself. However, you can start doing the same strategy by finding projects that give you yield during this downtime, whether it's going through Yearn Finance, YFI, whether it's going through Idle Finance or Rari Capital, but basically look for ways to earn yield either on stablecoins or even Ethereum. And then I would also go to the indices. So the indices tell you, especially in times like this, I'd go to the daily indices. So let's go to Coinbase, for example, right? And please pardon the issue we're having with the ROI. We'll fix that. But going to this, so for anybody who's day trading, the daily indices are great for understanding the fast movements in the market and where our AI wants to go. So in this case, it's going to value products. It's going to Polygon, it's going to the Graph, it's going to UMA, Cardano, and Orchid. So for somebody who's maybe trading very quickly, this is where it sees value in. Now, if we go to Binance and do the same thing, right now I'm just trying to see where Tokenmetrics AI sees as having possible upside during this crash. And if you notice, it's going to value. So same thing on Binance, it's going to run BTC, which is basically Bitcoin on DeFi. Then you have Elrond, you have the Graph, you have Terra, you have PancakeSwap. So notice that the Graph appeared twice on both the index for Binance and Coinbase. So I pay attention to that. Then Terra, Tokenmetrics quant grade has been very bullish in Terra for the last 1 year or so, and it's done very, very well. And right now during this crash, just the daily index is going to that, telling us that it sees value in that. Then I'll do the same thing by going to the weekly index. Now, right now, I'm not looking to buy any index. I'm just looking to see what coins it likes for both time frames. Because if there's a huge bounce back, it will happen first on the daily and the weekly over anything else, right? So looking at this, same thing, PancakeSwap again, appeared twice. Binance Ethereum staking. Now, this is very interesting, right? So we had compound, we had CETH on the ratings page. Then for the weekly, we have Binance ETH staking. We have Axie Infinity and Terra again. Then we have some Pax Gold as a hedge. Now, if we go to Coinbase, let's do the same thing. And I'm just taking notes on what's happening. So I see the same thing here, pretty much the same portfolio for the daily. Polygon, UMA, Filecoin, and Cielo have been added here. So I would use this. If you're trading, I would use the indices and the ratings and looking at which ones are doing very, very well. If you're looking to invest into token sales or looking to invest into projects for the long term, I would look at products with a very high code review, over 85%. Same thing with fundamental score. So basically, not just code review anymore, both code review and fundamental score over 85%. So projects that have scored that well in the last few months or even 6 months or so, I think have been Integral, which is a DEX. They had a token sale about a month ago. They're competing with Uniswap, PancakeSwap. I think the token is launching sometime this month. I did invest into that one myself. And that's like the first token sale I've done in over 2 years. That's how optimistic I am on them. And then I would say Chia Network. We've covered this via code review. I've been mining and plotting this actually. And that one, if the dip keeps on dipping, that's when I'm looking to possibly buy. I think the price dips to around $600 or $700. But if we enter a bear market, I'm going to buy more of that. I am farming it, but I want to get more as well because farming it is getting tougher, especially now as more people have been buying the devices. I do have a video on TMTV. If you go to Moon Mission, Chia Network, where I do a deep dive on Chia Network. I also have a video I did recently on Alchemix. That's one I personally bought myself this week during the dip. I might buy some more if it dips. Right now, it's less than 1% of my portfolio, but ideally, this is a very bear market friendly coin because if you want to cash out without selling your Ethereum or crypto, this is a platform to use, right? So right now, it only take DAI and stablecoin. However, this month, based on an interview I watched, they'll be launching Ethereum as collateral, basically ETH. So I'm looking to possibly buy some more of this and use this myself. And right now I am staking this. The returns on this are over 100%, which gives you an extra reason to hold this during the crash. Let's go to Bill or Forrest. Any other ideas or tips in terms of how to find hidden gems using token metrics and the newsletter?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the hidden gems on Token Metrics TV, the hidden gems episode every week. That's the one where I go through projects that we've reviewed from a fundamental standpoint throughout the week and that have scored above at least a 75. Now, as far as being investable, we want to see projects score right now above an 85%. But that can also help you develop an understanding of what narratives we're seeing, what type of projects are coming in that are consistently scoring above a 75. Are they DeFi projects? Are they NFT projects? Are they layer one blockchains? And then we've also got the code review newsletter, like Ian said. So that's the main thing. That's the main way that I go about it is coupling the fundamental score with the code review score, and if both score over a certain threshold. Before recently, it was an 80, but I've recently, as Ian mentioned, upped that for myself as well to 85 and 85. And there's been about 3 recently: Integral, Chia, and Audius that have scored above an 85 on all. On
now,
both.
I think did Ribbon also score over 85? I believe. I think it did for code review. Did it for fundamentals?
84, 85. I can't remember, but it was. Okay. It looks really good as well.
All right, Bill, how about you? Any tips on how to use token metrics or the newsletter to find hidden gems and make money?
Sure. So on the newsletter, there are all different types. Some do charts, some are on code reviews, some are, on a variety of topics, educational, crypto legal issues. We're always trying to make you a little bit smarter. And obviously we're trying to make you smarter faster than you would if you were reading something else on the internet. Now, when it comes to the site, I'm a visual trends indicator guy. Like if I see something on a chart or if one of our DeFi analysts flags something, I like to then turn around and research the coin on token metrics. Like prior to this whole thing, I saw synthetics creeping up on the quant grade, and it helped me pay closer attention to the chart. Now, we wound up with this event, but token metrics is just, it's like I almost don't feel comfortable if I can't go double check an idea, even if I have a view or somebody has a view and I've put in some research together. I'm like, wait, let me check the site first, particularly visual trends indicator. Right. I want to make sure that, there isn't some, sideways or bearish thing happening that would dissuade me from my view. Or in the case of Bitcoin, some warning signal that would say, okay, take such and such precautionary action. So the site is both confirmation and early warning up and down.
All right. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. So if you enjoyed that segment, please smash the like button, subscribe, share this video. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Let's now go to the AMA. So once again, go to menti.com for the AMA, menti.com. Code is 4967778. That's 4967778. So the first question is for Ethereum Classic. What is the price prediction for ETC this year, and what is the entry point? Very good question. Maybe Bill, if you could pull up and do TA on Ethereum Classic. I can also pull it up here on Token Metrics. Now, this is also why we made the visual trend indicator, because you can use this even when we're not around to give you an idea of where we think or where Token Metrics thinks any coin is going. And we have this for over 6,000 crypto assets. Right now, for pretty much the next 1 year or so, our quant grade is not too optimistic on this. But if you go to the visual trends indicator, the low frequency hasn't turned bearish. It was bullish from about $6-7, went up to the crash, but it's still bullish. If we go to the high frequency one, now this is the one that would update a lot faster. So this actually turned bearish. So it was bullish from $12.60, went all the way to 120 during this correction. It turned bearish at $62. So until this changed, the low frequency won't change as well. Bill, let me know what you see on the TA.
Okay, charts coming up right here. Okay, so like so many wrecked instruments, Ethereum Classic is now below what I thought would have been support around 60. Right now, Ethereum Classic is basically right back to where it kind of started its Dogecoin imitation move. And if there's another thrust lower, I'm seeing support around 36. All right. You know, you want to always make sure, not investment advice, that whatever you're getting into is a quality coin, not just something that went up in the last cycle. Okay. Now, I know a lot of the stuff that we like, or the stuff that we like, not investment advice, in the DeFi space has gotten hit the hardest. It's been pretty tough to watch, with meme coins actually holding up relatively well. So support in Ethereum Classic is at 36, and just make sure that, you know, if you're buying in a very sharp dip, make sure you've done some homework of your own.
All right. First, any comments on ETC? You have?
Not particular. I would personally rather just own Ethereum than Ethereum Classic. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, well said. Nice and short. Okay, all right. Next question. Why is Audius and Alpha not performing so well and rebounding like other altcoins? Let's go to Bill.
Okay, well, the short answer is I don't know. You know, I understood Alpha to be, you know, like a lot of the supply was being drained out of the market. You know, obviously larger players came in and stopped themselves out. As far as Audius goes, it's a similar, I don't know, but there was a recent token unlock. And perhaps a lot of those people didn't sell and panicked when the price went down. So in Audius, it might have been people who had just gotten unlocked tokens, and in Alpha, I don't understand it, but it just, the only thing I can think of is that, you know, institutions who own it or retail panicked en masse in an illiquid environment.
All right. Forrest, how about you?
I mean, I would challenge that nothing's really rebounding yet. I mean, we haven't really seen a rebound. Ethereum put in a new low today. I mean, just hours ago, earlier today, Ethereum put in a new local low. Bitcoin did put in a higher low, I believe, but we're not seeing a big rebound yet. Going from 30 to 34.8. I mean, we're still kind of channeling and channeling downwards. So I don't think we've seen the rebound yet. And I don't think we'll see any confidence move back into altcoins until one of two things happens, right? Bitcoin tries to retest and get back into a bullish trajectory, or we trend sideways for long enough that we can reach a catalyst for Ethereum and other altcoin catalysts that could move altcoins upwards.
Yeah, well said. And then if we go to the visual trends indicator for both of those projects, looking at the low frequency, it did turn bearish at basically $2.09. If we switch to the high frequency indicator, it turned bearish at $2.15. And then if we go to alpha and check the same thing, let's give it a few seconds here to load. But in general, yeah, so alpha turned bearish at $1.30. And for the high frequency, basically everything's turning bearish. And as a result of that, you can't really expect it to do well until it changes to bullish, in my opinion. Right now, obviously, it's not perfect, but the whole point of the trends indicator is not to be perfect. It's actually to save you money, because technically, you can have a trends indicator that has, we've seen it with one coin, I think SNX, where the accuracy on it was 40%. But the max drawdown was very, very low, right? Because basically it was being over aggressive and getting out early. And sometimes it would pay the cost for that, but the cost is very, very minimal versus holding a bag that goes down lower. Because one of the beauties of this trends indicator is when it's wrong, it's able to correct very, very quickly. Right? So as a result of that, it's willing to take more shots or more chances to exit the market and not get caught when the tide goes out, and as a result, helps keep your money. So that's what I would have to say. But in general, if you're in this for the long haul, you should be looking at value, right? Not looking at quick flips. Quick flips in this market, because this is why we keep on saying you want to be in value, because when this happens, when the music stops, like what happened in the last 1 week, for the first time, the music stopped because everybody thought everything was going to the moon. I was seeing stories on CNBC of people becoming millionaires or billionaires on meme coins, right? Paper millionaires and billionaires. But guess what? The music stopped. That was almost a top signal during this month or so. When the music stops, be in value. If you're in value, just hodl. I mean, it sounds tough, but just think about this. Polygon did 100x, but for about 1 year, it was wavering between 1 and 2 cents. It actually went below 1 cent. So you had all the time in the world to accumulate Polygon before it went to $2.70. Just think about that. You could have bought Polygon at under a penny. That's more than 100x. All right, going from a penny, 2 cents. We actually had an email we got from somebody, one of our customers. Actually, he was in the pro plan. He said he put 80 grand into Polygon about a year ago or so, and now it's turned, prior to the crash, it had turned to almost $10 million. Now imagine if you're that person, because we also had other people who were in Polygon or Matic at the time. They were not patient enough. They said, why is this not moving? Why is this not rebounding? Because this is why I don't like trading the market. I just like finding value. Polygon had crashes of, I think, 50% twice in 1 day. Just think about that. Polygon, because this was post their Binance IEO, there were times where it crashed. I think one time it crashed 60% in 1 day. There was a bunch of FUD out there. People got shaken out. But for those of us who believed in technology still, and knew that, hey, the fundamentals had not changed, they made a lot of money once it ended up recovering, right? So these are projects we think have value. In 5 years, we think these projects will still be around. So we don't care whether the market goes to zero, but the reason why is we think if the market crashes, whether now or next 1 year or two, these are products that will bounce back. So these are projects, me personally, I don't really plan to sell, if anything. Right? I don't have alpha yet, but I do have Audius. But a great question. Tell us what you think down below. Let me just mark this as answered. Okay, next question. When do you, 1, sell and take a loss, or 2, hold and buy the dips? That can go even lower. See question 1. Okay, let's go to Forrest for this one.
Yeah, so personally, I would, you sell, first of all, you want to be in good projects that you don't mind everything Ian just explained, that you don't mind holding on through a bear market because you believe that they will bounce back. If you're in projects that you like, and if you're in projects that you want to continue to accumulate in, I'm of the opinion that you only sell if you think you can buy back for lower, right? If you sell, right, or take profits and you think that you can buy back lower, then it makes sense to sell. But if you don't think that you're going to have an opportunity to buy back lower, then why sell? Like right now, when Bitcoin's just bouncing off of 30K and we're in the middle of this crash, 30K could very well be the bottom. Maybe it's 25K, but I'm not going to sit here and sell the bottom hoping that we go lower to maybe 25, 24K before going back up for a retest. So personally, I want to be in good projects at good entry points. And then I'm only going to sell those even in a crash if I think I can buy in lower. And right now, with Bitcoin down around 30K, I don't think that I can buy in lower. Maybe I will be able to, but I'm not confident enough that I'll be able to buy in lower and that this bull market is over, that I'm going to sell. Now, I did mention earlier in the stream that when Bitcoin goes up to retest 48 to 52K, if it does that, I will secure some capital because I think there's a strong chance that if we go into a bear market, I will have a chance to buy in lower. So I don't like to trade the market very frequently either. But when there's a lot of volatility and I'm in a position where I might need to secure some capital going into a bear market, I will consider selling that retest. And then if we go into a bull market and I'm wrong, I'll hope to rebuy in at the same price once we get a confirmation bounce off of that trend line.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Let's go to Bill. So the question is, when do you sell and take a loss? And when do you hold and buy the dips?
Yes, the perennial question from 2019 has returned. So let's say you have 4 coins and you have an 80% loss in one of them. Now, if that one particular coin is causing you to not be able to sleep at night or think clearly about the other 3 coins or your life in general, then perhaps you take the loss and regroup, assuming it doesn't have a $500 gas fee, right? So if doing a trade or stopping out of a trade, either because you admit that you chased something you shouldn't have, or because whatever it is isn't allowing you to sleep at night, I say liquidate the trade, take a deep breath. Crypto will be here when you get it together. And I'm not blaming you for not having it together, folks, because I'll tell you right now, I don't have it together. So if you need to do something to sleep at night, do something. Now, flip side, does that mean puke everything? No, it doesn't, right? In other words, if you bought something and you look at it and go, okay, other than price, what's changed? And if there's no answer, then perhaps you might sleep at night for a couple more days, give it some time, okay? Give crypto a chance. And as Forrest said, right, this thing's probably it's going to recover at some point. I don't know what they're going to do this week, but it's going to recover at some point. And then that will allow you to reevaluate everything when your head's clearer. Okay. So in sum, clear your head. If you can't clear your head, clear it, take a loss in something or reduce your position. Again, it doesn't have to be all in or all out. That said, make sure you can answer the question, other than price, what's changed, right? Is crypto illegal? Is DeFi illegal? Does no one want cryptocurrency anymore? Has inflation gone away? These things are just questions you can ask yourself and do research on when you have a cooler head. So in sum, don't panic and don't panic. Don't panic, but sleep at night, right? And you have to find the balance.
All right, thank you, Bill. So the way I view this is, one, when do I sell and take a loss? I would say when the fundamentals in a project change, or when I believe a project will not fulfill the the goals that made me invest in it. So basically, when I believe, okay, you know what, this project is never going to ever achieve this goal or vision, and I'm out. But that does not happen over a day, over a week. If anything, that happens over months. I would say at minimum 6 months, because I come at this as a value investor looking at undervalued projects that I think have potential for 10x investment or 10x return. So you have to give it time. For example, like Polygon is best example. It took basically almost 2 years before it did anything worthwhile. But when it did, people made a lot of money. People were tagging me on stories of them buying cars with Polygon money on IG. Like that's how good it was. But it took 1 or 2 years to move. So if anything, you have to have the patience. And it's very hard to have patience when you don't understand what you're investing in. So that's why we always say, do your own research. But if anything, you have to have the faith and to hodl through times like this. But that faith comes from having the knowledge and the confidence and understanding that you're in something valuable. For example, same thing with Helium Network. We've covered Helium back in 2018 before it even launched a token. Then in 2019, when it launched a token, and that token was trading between 10 to 20 cents. Helium went to almost $20. But that was a slow rise to $20. It wasn't just like $20 overnight. It was just a straight rocket ship. And same thing with this, right? So for me, so to answer the question, do I sell and take a loss? Only if the fundamentals change. And I would give that minimum 6 months. But if anything, you have to be very picky with what you invest in. As a result, when things don't go the way you expect them to go, you have the patience with that. Then in terms of holding and buying the dip, honestly, I don't really buy dips. I know you should, but this is one of those things where I kind of go against the grain. If anything, I buy my winners. I double down on my winners. This is actually a strategy mentioned in angel investing and VC investing. If you've read the book, very, very, very good book, Angels by Jason Calacanis, basically how an investor turned, I think, 100 grand to 100 million. And basically, he made a bunch of money, and his strategy is double down on your winners. If anything, that's what I do. I double down on my winners when the fundamentals change. So, for example, Polygon. I was in at Polygon under 3 cents. Then Matic under 3 cents. Then when they announced Polygon at 10 cents, I doubled down. Sold a bunch of other crap coins or coins that weren't really doing anything, even sold my Ether to buy more Polygon because the fundamentals had shifted. And I was doubling down on a project that was doing pretty well. Plus, I knew it had value, it had great technology. Then same thing with Helium. I was mining Helium when it launched from day one, bought some at 15 cents, bought some at, I think, 70 cents, bought some at $1.50, bought some more at $10. So I've been accumulating Helium, basically. I've been doubling down on my winners. So I think that's a strategy I employ, which is more a VC strategy, because this is the same example can be done with Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Imagine Ethereum comes out, the token sale back in 2016, I think was between 20 or 30 cents. And as Ethereum showed it was executing and delivering, you end up buying more. You basically double down. Let's say you buy some at 30 cents, you buy some at $3, you buy some at 30, some at 300, then buy more at 3K. Same thing with Bitcoin, right? So for me, I take that approach where I double down on my winners, because you're basically rewarding them for doing well. If anything, I don't actually sell, I just buy more. But that's because if you have the thought that this is very undervalued and this can go to top 10, top 20 market cap, why would you sell now? If anything, you'd accumulate, because now it's showing you that it's even more likely to get there, right? So with Polygon, they've been announcing new projects building on Polygon almost every single day for the last 2 years, right? So when you see stuff like that, you see the project executing, then you see them announce Polygon, them changing to Internet of Blockchains or L2 scaling. That makes me even more optimistic on them actually doing well in the future, so I buy more. So hopefully that helps. Tell us what you think down below in the comments. All right, next question. With the current turbulence in the market, do you think it's a good time to invest into projects at the moment, or wait to see if we're entering an early bear market for better buying opportunities? this is kind of the similar question we answered before, but we'll answer it again since this is a very popular topic today. Bill, what do you think?
Okay, well, this is a good time for me to, ask everyone if they're enjoying this particular bear market, right? In other words, I knew a lot of people when things were going up were like, oh, I can't wait for the bear market so I can get involved. At which point I proceeded to explain that the reason they call it a bear market is because, when a bear meets a human and the bear is upset, it turns out bad for the human. So if you feel bad out there and you're wondering what you should do, you have met the bear, and it's scary. Now, my vote is to stand in the face of the bear and go, you know what? I am not going to fall for the booga booga after a 70% down move in 7 days. So blank you to the bears. I'm not doing this. Right. I'm basically going to say, okay, do we like DeFi? Do we like altcoins? Was my boss not on CNBC 2 or 3 days ago telling the anchors something that they hadn't heard, which you had heard, about value investing in crypto? Value investing is a very polite term for standing in a bomb crater with your face all black going, okay, all right, now what can I pick up here that's cheap in the bottom of a bomb crater? So where are we in this market, right? We're standing around going, okay, Sushi Swap was at 6 today, headed for 0. Now it's at 8. What do you want to do? Synthetics, Aave was at 600, was at 600 something. Now it's at 200 something. Like the future of Wall Street could be contained within that coin alone. Alpha, the one I got hosed in, 60 something cents. I was thinking in my mind when I bought it, that's the next Aave. So yeah, you could buy something today and you could wake up Tuesday morning and it could be 30% lower. That could definitely happen. Or you could buy something today that you believe in, that you try to hold, and at this time next year, you'll have 100x'd. In other words, when do you get 100x? Or how do you get 100x? You got to buy it either when it comes out at 0, goes to 0, or is depressed. Like me. So consider things that have been hammered, and don't let the bear, don't keep positions are no good, but don't let the bear scare you out of taking a shot at an independent financial future.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Great words. Let's go to Forrest.
Yeah, I would just say to keep a watch list and keep tabs on prices of things that you want to buy, and set kind of have in your mind an entry point. And when you reach that entry point, as long as the fundamentals haven't changed, then be ready to jump on it. If I can just share my screen, an example today, and I'm happy to share this with you guys. And maybe we go lower, and maybe this blows up in my face, but I've been eyeing Helium Network for a long time. Really since its big run up to almost $20 or above $20. Obviously, I'm bullish on it for all of the same reasons that Ian is, but just drawing a simple channel here, I have Helium on my watch list. It dropped, right? I know historically the best times to buy it were when it dropped below its channel, when it wicked below its channel. Today it did that. All right, I didn't jump on it. It didn't wick down low enough for me to jump on it the first time. And of course, we didn't know how low it was going to go. But I bought Helium today under $10, and I'm pretty content with that purchase. I'm pretty bullish on Helium. I like the project. It was on my watch list, and it fulfilled my entry point requirements. So I would just say keep a watch list and keep an eye on the price. And when it goes low enough for you to be happy, and I think Ian's personal requirement is if he thinks he can get a 10x out of it, I think I can get a 10x out of Helium if I get in under $10. So I'm happy to buy Helium there, and just keep a watch list.
Thank you, Forrest. I definitely also echoed that as well. So I also keep a watch list as well. So going back to the question, what do you do during times like this? This is when having your watch list comes in handy. So it's basically your shopping list. I've been keeping this shopping list for the last few months. I have so pretty much any project our team has been scoring for code review over 80%, where I thought the valuation was too high when it launched on exchanges. Let's say when it launched after their IDO, after whatever, right? Basically, great project, great value, but I'm sorry, great fundamentals, but I think it was overvalued. I put it on my watch list and I just track it. Then when times like this come, I go to see how far it's dropped, and now I see if it's hit my threshold of being undervalued. So, for example, earlier this week, I purchased Alchemix. That has been on my watch list for a while. I thought it was overvalued, but after the correction, I said, you know what? Now's a good time to enter. And when I enter, I don't just go in and buy everything. I entered with basically less than 1% of my portfolio in crypto. And now I just keep on monitoring it. And I see if we keep on going lower, then I'll buy even more. Because ideally, I would like to be between 1 and at most 5% of my portfolio into Alchemix. Because Alchemix, I think, is going to be a game changer. Because now you can earn yield on your crypto. Plus, they're announcing adding Ethereum as collateral this month. And then in the future, they also plan to add wrapped Bitcoin as collateral. Meaning that if you have Ethereum, you guys know me, I'm an Ethereum bull, hence the pillow in the back. But if I think Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin, I don't plan to ever sell my Ethereum. So I can just lock it up into Alchemix, earn a yield on that, borrow against it, go out there, do whatever I want with my money, whether it's buying a home, paying off debt or whatever, travel the world, buy a Lambo, who knows. I can do whatever I want with it and never have to sell my Ethereum. That's a game changer because they don't sell your collateral ever. That yield is used to pay back your loan. So all you need is time. And if Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin, you're very bullish on Ethereum. So to me, I see them as being one of the pinnacle protocols in DeFi. So in times like this, I'm buying value like that. So I'll just go through other projects on my watch list I'm looking at. Chia Network. Right now, I'm farming that. I haven't really done anything because the farming is very, very competitive. I'm waiting for them to launch cloud mining or cloud plotting or farming. I think that could be helpful. Right now, I'm still farming it. I've been going through some issues with my device. I had to actually reformat my SSD to fix it. But I'm just planning to accumulate that through farming and plotting, and then also possibly buy some when the price crashes. Right now, it's not on the best exchanges. However, in times like this, I am salivating over Chia Network, right? And this is also available on TMTV. Both of these, I've done deep dives on them. So if you go to Moon Mission, I have an Alchemix episode and also one on Chia Network. And we'll also have 2 videos of me going through my entire portfolio. Then I also have one on Integral. So essentially, I'm just looking to buy projects on my watch list. Other projects on my watch list that I'm looking to possibly buy, Casper Labs. That scored very, very well, over 90% on the code review. It's down almost 13% today. I have Alpha Finance. That's down almost 28% today. We also have Swift Chain, which is a cross-chain DEX on Cosmos. That was a recent code review to our customers. That's on my watch list. I also have Rally Token. That's a social token. I have Bond. I have Kine. I have a bunch of different projects, but basically, I'm just eyeing these projects. This is my shopping list, and in times like this, I would call it maybe dollar cost averaging into it, but I'm basically just looking to buy slowly, right? So I'll buy 1% of my portfolio, then maybe make it 2, then maybe all the way at scaling up until it hits 5% of my portfolio. But this is just projects with actual value. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Tell us what you think. What are you doing in times like this? Are you buying more? Are you buying the dip? Are you buying value? Are you buying NFTs? Are you buying meme coins? Tell us what you think down below, and let's continue on to the next question. Okay, next question. Any updates on Liquidity, LQTY? Bought the dip at average 10 USD and ready to hodl. Greetings from Barcelona. Great question. So maybe Bill, if you could pull up Liquidity, LQTY for TA. Okay, so pretty much I'm I'm just hodling. I've been staking that. I did use them for a loan about 2 or 3 weeks back prior to the whole crash. But I was actually trying to prep for using them this summer, assuming there was a crash in the summer, not in May. But right now I'm just staking it. Staking returns, let me actually pull this up here. So right now the APY, it's been fluctuating. Early on when I got in, the APY was over 800%. And now it's dipped to like 100%. Prior to that, it actually dipped to like 80 or 60%, but now it's bounced back. So in times like this, the APY for projects with staking does go back up. But right now, I'm just holding. And to me, this is something that's functional. It's valuable. During a crash, people will still be using it to borrow money, to not have to sell their crypto or their ETH. I think the challenge with it, though, is right now they only take Ethereum as collateral. That's why I'm really liking Alchemix on the other hand, because Alchemix, first of all, Alchemix, they don't sell your collateral. With Liquidity, you have to bother with making sure you don't get liquidated, right? Because if you go here to the Trove, for example, right, like right now my ratio is 170%, right, for this wallet, but the total collateral ratio is 368%, meaning that they recommend 150%. So I'm good for now, but it's something you have to really you have to keep tabs on, right? So it's a hassle, but I do like both this and Alchemix. And then Bill, let me know when you're ready with the TA on Alchemix.
Alchemix or
Liquidity, I mean. Liquidity, sorry.
Okay, so here comes Liquidity. All right, so we have a coin that was at 24, that's now at 8. I'm sort of wondering, especially with these wicks that are down here, looks like the bears tried to hit it twice. The question I would have with this is like, who's really left to sell? Especially since it started at 28, it's a 4-hour chart. Now, that said, I would be very careful and make sure you understand whether or not the token that you are buying in DeFi is cash flow positive. Forrest actually helped me when we were doing this live on another channel. I was explaining 2 coins I liked and why, and then Forrest gave it to everybody in 2 sentences. It said, make sure that this tokenomics, make sure it has a purpose. So I'm not saying Liquidity does or doesn't. Obviously, it's been destroyed. Just make sure that whatever you're picking up on the dip has good tokenomics.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill. Let's go to Forrest. Any comments on that?
No, I'm still holding my Liquidity long term through a bear market. If we get a bear market, the reason being, in a lot of, if you go back to 2017 ICO days, a lot of projects launched at high valuations and then crashed in the bear market, because everything crashed in the bear market. Even projects with really, really solid fundamentals still crashed in the bear market. But when the bull market of 2020 came around, the good projects with solid fundamentals came back. I think Liquidity is a solid project with strong fundamentals that will come back if we do go into a bear market. Yeah, it launched in a bull market and might have launched at a high valuation as a result, and maybe it gets crushed if in this crash and in a bear market. But you can stake it, you can earn money through it, and I don't mind holding it long term because I think it'll bounce back. And that's a prerequisite for me investing in a project because of the exact scenario that's going on right now. I don't want to be in Dogecoin when the market crashes, right? I don't want to be in Dogecoin in 3 months if we do find ourselves in a bear market.
Yeah, great comments there, Bill and Forrest. To add on to that, you have to be in value when the tide comes. When the music stops, you have to be in value. And that's why we built Token Metrics, because we help you with code reviews, we help you with fundamental analysis, we help you with now a daily TV network, daily newsletters. We're constantly trying to give you value and help navigate you through this market. And these products, the products we really tout, right? We tout them because we're seeing value in them, meaning that they'll bounce back no matter what, right? So from Polygon to Helium to Alpha to Audius to Liquidity to Alchemix, I mean, and for those who are brand new, what does cash flow positive mean? That means these tokens pay you to hold them and stake them. So for example, Liquidity is basically for lending and borrowing. You can go on Liquidity, deposit your Ethereum as collateral at no interest rate. You only pay a fee when you borrow and lend, and I think it's like 0.5%. Now that fee is then given to the stakers on the protocol, right? So people like me, Forrest, others who are staking actively, we get a portion of that fee. So meaning that, one, this is a product that's actually being used right now. It's not some hyperbole, some vaporware like these meme coins and other coins launching on new blockchains that haven't launched yet. This is on Ethereum, actually being used now. At the peak, it had over $1 billion in their stablecoin. Let me see if I can actually pull this up here. Just give me 1 second. Liquidity, right? So this is DeFi Llama. So this is a project that's being used in real life. We're not talking in the future. This is in real life. Over almost $2 billion. At the peak, it had 4 billion. So do you think that money is just going to go away over the next 5 years? If anything, it's going to get even better. And this is just with one asset as collateral. And all these fees, 0.5% of all this money being borrowed, 0.5% on 5 billion is being given to the stakers who own this token, right? So in a bear market, when people are holding meme coins that give people no reason to hold, people who are getting paid for this to hold or stake, they'll keep on holding projects like this, right? So if anything, this is one of the few projects where I may look to buy more just to reduce my cost basis, because I bought in at around $18 actually, and right now it's at $10. So I'm probably going to buy some more in the next week or two. Same thing with Alchemix. Alchemix right now, they don't have fee sharing or fee earning. Basically, it's not cash flow positive yet. However, it is in the roadmap in the next few months. And I think when they launch ETH, they'll have the ability to reward stakers with fees being earned by their protocol. And that's crucial because you're getting paid to hodl. And it's kind of like mining. So for me, projects like that, because you want to find projects of value that are undervalued, but also projects that give you a reason to hold during a bear market. So Helium Network, I mean, that's the best thing ever. You just plug it in, you get paid. People have been recovering their investment within a week or the first month or so. Projects like that, I like. That's why I also like Chia Network, because I can earn this in the comfort of my own home by just farming and plotting, even though it's getting more competitive. Things like that, I like. And that's why I think projects like that have value even through a downturn. Okay, let's take a few more questions here. I think we've talked about alpha too much. Okay, so next question. If this is not the end, and I don't think it is, when will the cycle end? What is the data to support this? I've seen Tokemetrics predict February, May 2022 on BitBoy. Due to the current state of affairs, any adjustment? Great question. So basically, when is the bull market over if this is not the end? Let's go to Forrest on that.
Yeah, I've been using Q3, late Q3, early Q4 as a potential scenario for when the bull market could end. But at the end of the day, we just don't know. There's so much changing in crypto all the time. And historically, the way bull market cycles have worked has been off of Bitcoin's halving periods, right? And there's 4-year cycle theory in that, every 4 years you get a long bull market cycle. And then there's lengthening market cycle theory that would support that every bull market is longer than the last bull market, but the returns in terms of Bitcoin's performance are reduced. Now, there's a lot of evidence to support each of those, but we also happen to believe that Ethereum is probably going to flip Bitcoin. That's my belief. I believe that's the belief of Ian. I believe that's probably the belief of Bill as well. So if Ethereum decouples from Bitcoin and ends up flipping it, maybe sometime in the next year or two, maybe 3-4 years from now, again, we don't know, that could end up, we could see a different type of bull market. We could see an Ethereum layer 1 smart contract network DeFi bull market. right? Or decentralized content where we see everything that's not Bitcoin do extremely well, or anything that's based off of a smart contract network do extremely well. So if we see that, we could see a mini bear market. We have EIP 1559 coming in July, strengthening Ethereum's monetary policy. And then we have proof of stake coming in towards the end of the year or early January. That could send us into another 3 or 4 month bull market centered around DeFi, right? So I wish I had a clear-cut answer for you, but I would just be giving you a scenario that is possible, right? I've been using late Q3, early Q4, maybe September. But again, Bill's take on it, maybe seeing something in 2022, Q2 of 2022, maybe that's centered around Ethereum moving to proof of stake, and we see a big DeFi boom in 2022. So there's multiple scenarios that could play out. And again, we really don't know whether or not we're even in a bear market yet right now. Bitcoin has to come back up and retest resistance. So we just have to take it one step at a time, unfortunately.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Let's go to Bill.
All right, so I'm the one that actually did the forecast slide on BitBoy. I'm great at doing things like this, like sell in May and go away, except it's a little tough for me at the end, but I'm doing okay on long-term stuff, even though that's tough in crypto. So here's a summary of the forecast. I said the correction might end around the 20th, and then there would be a takeoff around the 25th or 26th. So we're still in this like nebulous period. Then I thought the market would rally into September or October, and that you would have what you're seeing now, almost like traditional equity style, where you would have like Rectember and Rocktober, where something like what is happening now would happen then. This is very October in its price action. My theory from there was that the market would then consolidate and start a move based on some of this GAN research that I've done that show February to May or January to May of next year being like this smooth sailing zone for risk assets. My revision to that forecast would be that the Rectember and Rocktober has clearly been handled if you look at your P&L, my P&L, or the look of anybody's face who's in crypto. So in that sense, it's been handled. It's also been handled that people have met the bear and are scared of the bear, and that may cause hesitation, allowing the market to do what I call climb the wall of worry. So I think the market can actually climb the wall of worry from now until the end of the year. Now, I realize that everything that Forrest said about, doing a check ourselves on any rally to make sure it really is bullish. I get that. That makes sense. But for me, ask yourself this. Every time you see the market go down from here on out, every time you see the thing lurch 5% lower, tell me you're not going to think it's a repeat of this. It's called the knife experience. So the reason why I thought that there would be this huge bullish event next year, as well as bullish events this year, is because that knife experience from September or October would scare people away, allowing people to climb in slowly, just like they did off the equities bottom in 2008. Well, since we've had the trial by fire, and even though I know it's going to be slow going in the beginning, I actually do believe in this long-term forecast. We're out 12 months from now. We're going to say, wow, really glad I didn't sell at X dollars in this coin, right? Like Chainlink at 15, buy or sell. Not investment advice, but, not sell, right?
All right, thank you, Bill. All right, so that concludes the live stream. We're going to wrap things up. I'll actually be doing an overtime session because this is definitely a very huge day, so stay tuned. That'll be as a separate stream in about 15 minutes or so, 15 minutes to half an hour. But okay, so last words to our crypto family. Bill.
Friends, this is the time where you have to ask yourself, do I believe in crypto assets? Or am I just here because it's fun? I would encourage you to believe in crypto assets and to believe in yourself. Okay. You may need help from experts. You need charts and research. But at the end of the day, don't let the people that scared the markets scare you. Okay. Crypto is here and so are you. So stay with us, stay with Token Metrics, but most importantly, stay with crypto.
Thank you, Bill. Forrest, last words to our audience.
When in doubt, zoom out. I know it's cheesy, and I think I said it last live stream. And if you just pan over to my screen for half a second, I'm just going to show you the monthly total cryptocurrency market cap chart. There's been a lot of nasty big red candles, a lot of them, but it's always come back on top. So when in doubt, zoom out. If you're in it for the long term and you're in good projects, in my opinion, you'll be just fine.
All right, thank you, Forrest. I'll end it by saying this is where value investors make their money. And this is why it pays to be a value investor. As I mentioned on CNBC, there's no need to go chasing meme coins. Yes, they're sexy. Yes, people are making 100Xs or more very quickly. However, in days like this is where people get wrecked and basically just have to exit and rage quit. But value investors, you can find the same level of returns. Yes, maybe it takes slightly longer, but nice and steady wins the race. And best example is Binance BNB. This was a crypto asset that did well even in a bear market. Yes, it dipped, but I mean, it went from their token sale back in 2017 to now. They've done almost a 10,000x return. Just think about that. Why go chasing meme coins when you can find products like Binance, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polygon, Helium, products like this that either can be the next Binance or close to it? So yes, it's not a straight to the moon rocket ship like these other altcoins, but why chase 100x when you can get a 10,000x return and something with actual value and fundamentals? That's why we built Token Metrics. That's why we'll be here, bear market or no bear market. We'll still be putting out content on a regular basis, weekly show here, daily TMTV, daily newsletter, and we'll keep on adding even more value to our customers on our platform. With that being said, times like this is where investors make their money. So HODL, stay in, but make sure you're a smart investor and make sure you're with us along the journey and also a customer. With that being said, as we like to say, actually, this time, let's change it up. All right. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Don't slow down during this crypto market. We'll see you next week. And stay tuned for the overtime session.
Life-changing money to a point where you can buy your mom and dad a brand new house, right? You can pay off your college loans. You can invest in your future, not have to work again, pursue your dreams, your passion, not have to have a job, work that 9-to-5 grind, right? Break the system, hack the system. This is what this show is all about.
They said relax but never retire. Feeling detached, never inspired. They told me relax but I can't retire. I'm feeling detached, never inspired. Like I would live on but never alive. You know the system, AM till 5. They try to say our jobs and give on. They living a lie. Now here's the mission, die or decide. The corporate life is so redundant when your freedom isn't free. It comes to being someone, just believe that you can be. And now how can I have hunger when they tell me when to eat? How can I lead others when they tell me who to meet? Then they tell me when to come and then they tell me when to leave. They say how much they give and then forget how much I need. It's the precious to succeed with the lessons of the greed. I question who to be and saw this message is in me. I gotta know.
Life-changing money.
I want to work for myself. I gotta work for myself. I gotta go.
You can invest in your future,
Bring
not have to work
spirits to
again.
the moon, put nerves on the shelf. I gotta know.
Pursue your dreams, your passion.
I want to stay free or want the safety. I gotta go.
Break the system, hack the system.
Although they paid me,
This is what the
they
show is
never
all
made
about.
me. I want to relax, forever retire. I want to detach, I'm feeling inspired. They told me relax, but I can't retire. I gotta detach, gotta decide. They got me thinking I would live on, but never rely. You know the system, AM till 5. They try to say a job's a give on, they living a lie. Now here's the mission, die at the side, you or die now. Hey, hey, I will never be a wage slave, I gotta stay made. Hey, 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 I used to see this in the 8th grade, wasn't a day late. Hey, 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 I found the love that I was seeking, life that I'm leading. Hey, 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 now I can do this every weekend, cause I'm a free man. I was in Tokyo, riding the job wheel, the rodeo, dancing with the devil for payment. I couldn't do-si-do, but I was driven. The mission gave me an open road. Made a decision to whip him like it's a motor show. 6-figure slave, I was paid, wasn't well though. Heard of crypto underground, it became my railroad. Started making earnest money, it's for whom the bell tolls. Went from wishing for sales closed to sales. Now I can relax, forever retired. Now I'm detached, forever inspired. Now I can relax, forever retired. I had to detach, had to decide. And now I'm thinking I can live on and not just survive. You know this system, AM till 5. They try to say a job's a give on, they living a lie. I made a mission, die at the side, do or die now. Crypto retirement, yeah, that's where my mind went. Started thinking higher, now they can't hire my time spent. No, not retire like 65 when your job ends. More like an island, and if I'm by it, I buy it. Free travel, dealership, sweet dabble. I reign like Leeds Castle, you reign like Seattle. We went from sheep cattle to eating beef and mackerel at feasts. No lassos, just beliefs me in a saddle. You gotta know.
Like life-changing, like
You wanna work for yourself, you gotta work for yourself, you gotta go.
not have to work again,
Raise spirits to the moon, put nerves on the shelf, you gotta know.
pursue your dreams, your
You
passion.
wanna stay free or want the safety, you gotta go.
This is what the show is all about.
Although they paid you, they never made you. No, we can relax, forever retired. Now we detach, forever inspired. Now we can relax, forever retired. We had to detach, had to decide. And now we know that we can live on and not just survive. We left the system, AM till 5. They try to say a job's a give on, they live in a lie. We made a mission, die at the side, do or die now.
I'm here to put you guys on and share all the different resources and tips I come across in my journey to making $1 million and making $1 billion, right? I'm trying to share this with the world for free. I'm not here to sell you some $2,000 course, ebook, webinar, whatever, right? I'm here to put you guys on the game for free, open source, right? The same model as blockchain, Bitcoin, or these cryptocurrencies. I'm here to share everything with you guys.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.